Kathy Rodine here, Chief Executive Oily Officer of the Oily Baa-lievers. I have a really great little DIY for you today. I know last week I told you we were going to start making the 12 sprays of Christmas. I decided it's just a little too early, so I have a DIY for you today. We're going to make our carrier oil stick. And I'm actually going to show you a couple of containers that you could use. You can purchase one of these. By the way, you could also use this for other things too, like a solid lotion bar. You could make your own deodorant because this is basically just like a giant chapstick tube. It's got the thing in the center, and we're going to use this and make a carrier oil stick today. Or if you want to make several, or maybe just very little, you can use a chapstick tube. These are just the ones that I had on hand. And so let's get started. Why would you need a carrier oil? Do you have sensitive skin? Are you using a hot oil? Those are maybe the two reasons why most people will use a carrier oil. And I usually just put essential oils on neat. That means I put them on without a carrier oil, but it's up to you. Everybody's different, and so you do what's right for you. If you're using essential oils on kids, this is a really great way for your kids to use their essential oils by themselves. They know they can just grab this solid carrier oil stick and rub it on their skin and use that with their essential oils. So let's get started. I have in front of me my kitchen scale, so we're going to measure things. And in my microwavable dish, I have 2 ounces of sweet almond oil. Now, you might not want to use sweet almond oil if you're sensitive to nut oils, but I am not, so we're going to use sweet almond oil, and to that I'm going to add about 3/4 of an ounce of white beeswax. You know, beeswax comes white, or you can get it yellow as well. Some people don't use beeswax because it's not vegan, so if that's you, you could use something like carnauba wax. So, okay, so I've got 2 ounces of sweet almond oil in here. I'm just swishing it around. Those beeswax beads are just floating around. And now I'm going to put this in the microwave. I'm going to give that 30 seconds. And now to that, we are also going to add some coconut oil when that comes out. And then we're going to warm it up again. We're going to also add some cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is very good for your skin. Or if you don't have cocoa butter, you could also use shea butter. So 4 seconds left. And already those little beeswax beads are starting to melt. And so I'm actually not going to put the shea butter in right away. Now I'm just guessing I'm using about a good solid teaspoon, maybe just a little bit extra of coconut oil. You know, don't waste it, just put it on your skin, rub it in. Coconut oil is really good for your skin. So we're gonna give that another 30 seconds. So let's talk about some carrier oils that I have out. Some of the carrier oils that you might choose to use, I have grapeseed oil, I have avocado oil, I used the sweet almond oil, fractionated coconut oil. This is the coconut oil that stays as a liquid. They've just removed through a process, the part that makes your coconut oil solid. They've removed that to make it a liquid. There are a lot of carrier oils. I actually have a carrier oil chart, and so if you email me, I will send this to you. It's not something that I did on my own. I found it on Pinterest. And you can also go on my Pinterest website and you can find this as well as a couple recipes that are different from what I'm making to make your own carrier oil stick. So let's see how we're doing. So we're almost done. Those little beeswax beads are just about melted. And so I really want this to be very hot before I add my cocoa butter. Hang on, we're gonna give this 20 seconds. So I am going to use, I have a chunk of cocoa butter, and I'm just gonna break it up a little bit so that it melts a little more. Oops, it's going flying everywhere here. So that it melts a little more evenly. I lost part of it, so that's okay though. You know, whatever works. Okay, that beeswax should be all melted. And you can see now I just have a solid liquid there. A solid liquid, that doesn't really, that's kind of one of those oxymorons, isn't it? So I'm gonna put the cocoa butter in, but I'm not going to microwave this again. And the same if I was adding shea butter. Sometimes when you add a butter to a hot oil and you put it in the microwave, it can get grainy. And I want my carrier stick to feel smooth instead of grainy. And so you can just see that is really just melting nicely in there. How easy is this? So anybody could do this. You do want to be careful when you're microwaving your oils that it doesn't get too hot. You don't want anything to start on fire. So a couple things I wanted to tell you about some of these carrier oils is they all have a different shelf life. One of the carrier oils that you can purchase that's very absorbable for your skin is jojoba oil, and it's Jojoba, but they call it jojoba oil. And jojoba oil actually has a shelf life of 2 to 3 years. And so, you know, oils do go rancid, especially if they're nut oils. You do, and even vegetable oils go rancid. So you want to, I got a little chunk in here, and I'm just going to take it out because it's not really melting. Well, it probably will. Another one that has a really long shelf life is your fractionated coconut oil. It has a 2 to 3 year shelf life as well. What you could do to lengthen the shelf life of your oils is you can store them in your refrigerator. All right, we're almost there. You can use sunflower oil, sesame seed oil, rose hip oil. I also have in my fridge evening primrose oil. I use that. It does kind of help me with hot flashes, and so I use that. Hazelnut oil, hemp seed oil. There's all kinds of oils. And so if you go on my Pinterest page, you'll find some charts of different kinds of carrier oils. All right, so here we go. I have my container now, and I'm just going to make sure that my tube bottom is going to work. And so I've twisted it just a little bit. We're going to pour this right into the tube. And this is making more than I thought. I have filled this to the top, and I want to be very careful now and not disturb that. We're going to just let that harden. And since I have some extra, I'm going to go ahead and fill these small tubes as well. These are only like a 1/2 ml, so they don't really hold that much. Ooh, that's right to the top. You know, when these harden, they actually sink in, so I don't mind overfilling those a little bit. And let's keep going. So as you can see, this recipe does make quite a bit. And if you don't want that much, just half the recipe. I'll be sharing where I got my tubes in the comments below. It would really be great if you would like this video, share it with somebody, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That really helps me. It helps me know that you're watching and that these videos are of value to you. And so that's all I have for you today. So make your own DIY carrier oil stick. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.